Hey guys, come here. So, what do we have here? We have a cheapy battery charger and a cheapy battery. Altogether, €15. So, what we have to the side here is a empty, already good SEGA Nomad battery pack. So I've already got this thing. It was so badly corroded that the battery had basically the main board in there was completely destroyed, and I couldn't use the actual I couldn't use the connector because there was this really bad white crap coming out of it. I think the entire battery exploded on the inside, and I had to actually clean away a lot of this. I was scrubbing it in the bin, but it's kind of left this white kind of rough surface on the you kind of see it on the right where the battery literally just exploded, or it kind of just overloaded or something. I don't know what it did, but this battery was sitting up for a while, so what I did was like just cut off the yeah, anyway, we have got our prongs all connected up there. That's just something I did like a couple of months ago, but yeah, the board and everything I just chucked in the bin because there was no point in using it. It was completely destroyed. Even the DC jack was completely destroyed, but what I'm hoping to do is reuse a couple of parts out of this thing, and fingers crossed I should be able to get a working battery pack. So I'm going to unbox these. First off, take apart the battery pack, or the battery charger actually. So there we go, there's that, and there's that charger. It's going to be very weird for me to disassemble and kind of break apart and desolder a brand new piece of kit. Nothing else you get in the box. Well, you don't get anything else in the box. And there's a little bit of weight to the battery, but it's not as heavy as the battery was there. So come on, get out. It's not loosen. So what I'm going to do is get my two hands back, and oh, there we go. So and that should be perfect. So, and there's our battery pack. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these out of the baggies, and I'll be back in 2 seconds. So, instead of videoing the whole situation that this took me about 2 days to do and figure out how to do it myself, mainly because I just didn't want to deal with the tutorials online. They were kind of patchy on certain situations, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link to the kit below that I purchased. It's the same kit that a few YouTubers have used as well. It's just a battery or a camera battery. So it is. So this is my SEGA Nomad battery pack. So as you know, you can't actually use these original battery packs anymore, but basically they are still cheapy battery packs that you get in this kit. So I don't want to take this apart and stick everything in there and then find out that after a month of using this battery that there's two bad cells, and you know, I have to take this whole thing apart and, you know, take it up and throw it away and get another battery. So what I did was I kept the battery stock. Battery is completely stock, so it is. There are no modifications need to be done on the battery. All modifications is done on the top dock, which I'm going to unplug the plug right here onto the socket itself. So you don't get this with it. I have one of these just sitting around, but basically I'm just going to unplug that actually. Dear God. Yeah, I've just got a converter plug for those pesky American bloody plugs. So yeah, this is just normal plug. This is my connection to the wall. Now this doesn't come like that. What you get is a car adapter, and what I did was I connected the car adapter internally, stripped the wire, and soldered the 2 points, the red point to the positive and the black point to the negative. And pretty much that's my charger. So technically I could still probably use that if I got another top for it. I could just latch back in there and, you know, charge another battery pack, a second battery pack, but I have to buy another latch, so I would. But that's not an issue. Basically, what I did was I actually took the DC jack out of there and replaced and actually stuck the DC jack, because this casing never came with. This was technically most of the internal components in this were fried, and there was a lot of corrosion and that around the jack, and when I used it, it wasn't working. So this is just a mess. I will say it is, but it's the best I could do with what I have available to me. So what I did was I made a block, literally a block of glue of that stuff there, and what I did was I got the jack from this here, that was literally right there, desoldered from board, and pretty much soldered this to these 2 points here underneath this piece of plastic. And pretty much that's pretty much all I did was, and then I just wired this out through the hole. I would take it apart, but it's absolutely a pain in the arse to put back together again due to the cabling that I had to do. But that's pretty much all I did with this. It's a very simple process. You'll know it once you get into it that you'll see red wire, black wire. I just stripped the cable, put the red wire from this cable to the red wire and black wire to the black wire. Very, very simple mod. So it is to this. As for this here, so what we have here is the actual thing that was on here. So that's where the battery plugs into. What I did was, well, I took this out. I actually trimmed all the corners. I want to keep this free because realistically I want to be able to replace the battery if this one ever breaks. And I trimmed all the corners down on the sides, like literally all the corners down the sides, and cut away as much plastic as possible. That board there came from underneath this. This was like a sled board right here that slid across this here and made connection right there. You can see the 3 connections. The middle one is a ground, as far as I know. It's not connect. That there doesn't connect to anything, so there's no need to use the middle one. So there isn't. But but basically what I did was I got the power and the ground to connect to this the actual jack that was from this, and I'm kind of rambling, but I'm trying not to. I put the positive, which is the red, on this side. That's the positive, and the negative. There we go, that's what I was thinking, the negative and the positive. And I put them in the corresponding spots on the same spot on the same board. And on this side of the board here, these were already soldered into place, so you have your positive and your ground leading to these 2 points. And basically I just got my battery. It's built for this connection, so I don't need to take it apart. All I need to do is just kind of teeter out and lock it into place, push it in. That's it, in place. Then I just kind of clamp it in there. It's a very tight squeeze, as you may see. Just tuck all the cables in, like so. And then I take my top connection, or my top, and I just on top like so. Now, I'm still debating whether I should just glue this shut, because I can always undo the glue. But to be honest, the only thing I'm worried about is because it's such a loose fit, it might fall out someday. So that's why I'm thinking about gluing it back in together no matter what. But basically, I have no charge LED right there just yet, but I'll wire something up sometime in the near future for that, just so I can cover up the area. But basically all I have to do is, I dropped it. God. So just flick this open because I'm one-handed right now. I'm just going to put down like this. So I'll just put that down here in this mess of cables. You'll see the LED pop on. It was green, and when I take my battery pack, and I'm going to plug in the battery pack. It turns orange, so it's definitely taking a charge. So it definitely identifies it as the battery pack. So that's pretty much how I've figured that one out. So this did need a bit of a charge before I could use it, but so disclaimers when building one of these battery packs. Now what I used before, which I was testing with, was one of these. I picked up a LiPo battery. Now this here completely blew the voltage regulator on my original Nomad and totally killed it, literally decimated it, and basically I just cut the tips off there just in case it ever shorted. But the problem with LiPo batteries is they're very cheaply made and they're not really built for this purpose. This battery here that's in here is built for cameras, so it's built to be used in a consumer product part. It's just a rechargeable battery pack for a hobby machine or something like that. Most usually used for remote control cars and remote control airplanes, that sort of thing. Nothing that you would kind of go, if it blows up, you'd kind of be not too surprised in the battery blowing up in. But when it comes to these SEGA Nomads, they're getting rarer and rarer. I'm on my second Nomad now, so basically this is the dead one. So this is my dead one, sadly. Yeah, very much so dead. And this is my good alive one. So it is. I'm using the dead one for parts from now on, so it'll be just in case this one ever gives me shit. So, so basically, let's just put this on. So, I'm just going to grab my Nomad, put this back where I had it, and might just throw it in the bin because it was a waste of €7. So, just put that there on its face. So, and it does look stock from a distance. So it does, from a distance, it looks stock. No one would, if you weren't looking at it directly, like if somebody goes just see the SEGA logo and all that, they'd be kind of like, oh my god, that looks like original. So I'm happy enough that I was able to use the original casing. My first idea was to literally get rid of this and just use the slider and pretty much just connect the two cables to the connectors, and that was that. And I'll just literally switch out the battery anytime I needed to. Sorry for wobbling the camera. But my nostalgia kind of, or my OCD or whatever you like to call it, kind of kicked in and told me, no, that's a bad idea. Don't do that. It doesn't look original then, so I didn't do it. So let's kind of get that done. There we go. Get it done. So I've also replaced the glass on this as well, so what I'll do is I'm actually going to put my game that I do love thoroughly, Beyond No End, and that is Wily Wars. And yes, this is a fake game, don't judge me. So we have the battery up to its very highest. There we go. As you can see, there's nothing plugged in on top. It's all working from that battery. And I'm absolutely loving this. This thing is... I love my SEGA Nomad, so I do. This has to be one of my favourite handhelds to ever be released. And it was never released in the UK or Ireland, only in the US. You sly bastards. So delighted with this that the battery pack has actually worked. Oh yeah. And that new glass looks fantastic on it as well. Love that song. That has to be my favourite gaming song ever. Yeah. And I'll just pick this up. Look at that. I think I might bring this with me to work tomorrow. Play a bit of Wily Wars at work. I kind of shook it a bit. But yeah, this is great. I'm delighted that this actually works. And I didn't blow another very expensive product. Still kind of pissed off that I kind of blew this, but yeah, this should work right. Yeah, basically I use this just as a display, just to stick up there, so I don't really care if it falls or hits anything, or hits me most likely because I know it's underneath. But yeah, this is more so just a display and parts device now, so it is. And if anything blows on this, I can just rob it, desolder it from this and put it on that, as long as this one's still working. To be honest, it's better that I do it this way, because this takes less nomads out of the ecosystem for people to actually collect these devices. If I have one that I can keep on repairing with parts out of this one, it means I don't have to keep buying these devices and slowly but surely destroying the, how'd you say, kind of destroying the stock, not the stock, but you know what I mean, destroying. I hate taking too much stuff out of a hobby. Like this here is a great example. I did a video on it recently where I had to repair this, and basically I explained a little bit better on that, because I just keep a parts drive there, or a SEGA Mega CD there, so I do just in case. Let's just say that the actual lens wears out, which is quite common on these. I'll just rob the lens off that one over there, because I know that one works and it reads games. So, well, it was reading games last time I checked, but you get what I mean. It's probably good to keep a second broken device just for parts, so it is, unless that part has already been replaced, and then I guess the end of the cycle of buying new, you know. But anyway, if you catch my drift, I try to use as many parts to fix something before I have to actually replace it, and make the stock or make it harder for these to be collected by other people. I don't like that sort of thing. It gets on my nerves kind of, because I've been doing this for so long. Kind of seeing people out there collecting these things just to kind of have them, not play with them, which is really annoying, because every single console I own here has been played with at least once this month. So it has. So and if I go up a little bit further up there, oh, almost dropped my camera. Most of that stuff is already still in its box. So yeah. But I'm kind of, if I want to play something, I like to be able to play it, and that's the main reason why I collect these. This here was a kind of I really wanted this. I really want to play my Mega Drive stuff on the go. There were new emulator or emulation devices that I seen that actually take the real cartridges and they just slot them in, but this just calls out to me a little bit more, so it does. I just love this thing so much. Has that nice tactile click of something that's kind of expensive and worth a bit of money. But yeah, that was the battery pack, and I'm kind of proud of that. I actually have it all working. It's not that heavy actually. It's about as heavy as it was originally. It's not any heavier. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put super glue down the sides, so super glue it together, and once the super glue cures, that means the worst thing I have to do if I ever have to replace the battery in this is just cut through the super glue and pop out the battery, and it should be easy enough to do if the battery in this ever goes to shit. In other words, the best thing about this, I don't have to plug anything into the Nomad as well. That's another thing. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. See you. Bye.